Hello, my name is Steph. If you'd like to come on in and have a seat for some symbolic support, we are going to drop some ink on this scroll to see what shapes and symbols stand out and speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll add on some tarot or oracle along the way. And where Mr. Ghosty here is, we have GhostTube kicking for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our auric adventures. Overall, pleased to receive or release freely. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. Full disclosure, got a little wherever you might find this, but if you are watching it within a day or two, the channel does have an impersonator. I Scry with Steph 1, so please be mindful. Don't click on anything. I apologize, but here we are. Authenticity reigns and will win. So when you're ready, let's go. All right. So we're going to be using black, whites, and grays. Just as a reminder, we're here to create a portal to perceive in, less worrying about making a masterpiece. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below, as your reflections do deepen the reading, and they share in our nurture our interconnected nature. But if you don't feel up to it, a heart, an emoji, whatever feels good. I appreciate any interactions with the channel. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are feeling well. All the links are below to help a gal grow. And of course, I will see you in a day or two. And we'll flip it, if not tomorrow, for perspective possibilities. When you're ready, if you'd like to open up with me, taking a nice deep breath, closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support in the name and honor of anyone here at any time. Thank you for being my muse, and may you meet a message with meaning. There is, sorry if I'm sitting in the dark today, so, sitting in the dark. If anything's standing out, if you want to take that in. If you do want to take a screenshot, excuse me, personal use only. Okay, I'm opening a door. It's like I've got my hand on a door. It's a door that opens in versus out. So this door opens in. This feels like, I'm carrying somebody with me. I'm carrying somebody with me. Could be of my own energy. Give me a moment. Okay, it is remorse. An active and passive carrying. So the active energy is carrying the passive energy into this door. And this is like a little hobbit door. Like maybe I would see it in a tree or like a fairy door. And you don't have to land in any of that specifically, but it's letting me know it's somewhere amongst the elements. It could be like portal stuff. Okay, so now I'm sitting, my legs out. And I'm creating this door of sorts. I'm going to keep going with this door. Maybe it's a window in this way. It's a window over here. So once again, it's active and passive energies working together. And what is that? The point that they meet anyway. I'm sure there's a nicer mathematical term. And where they meet, this right here in my hands, I'm working with, yeah. I'm working with manifesting. Some of you might also be working with dimensional doorways of sorts. Even if it's within the dimension of self, it actually might be primarily within the dimensions of self, and taking a look at things. There is Okay, I'm gonna call it like a satellite. You know, like a satellite thing, like old, like the big old satellite dishes, and they would have like this thing
Hospital.
protruding. Yeah. So maybe some sort of signal. And then there's a sweep happening as well. And here's the other thing. There's some okay, so there's a pressing out of this. I think it's to find a door. That almost like took my breath away. Like, I'm sweeping to find signals, and at the same time, I've said it before, or it's come through like tapping the head and rubbing the belly or the heart. While sweeping is happening in one way, there's a different kind of sweep happening to break things up, a dispersing of things. I'm also feeling it like a car wash, where you might go through the flappy things, and then at the same time there's like side smooshies going on. But this is all in invisible airways, invisible to sight. You might hear them, very, very high-pitched sounds. You might also feel them, like electromagnetics of sorts. Thank you. Okay, we'll bring that in. But you're connecting to this door. And I think there's many doors. It's whatever the alchemy of your elements are. And sitting in the lap, what sits in the lap with you. I also want to note, as I said that, something maybe about laptop. And maybe if you sit with a laptop in your lap, somebody might be doing designing or whatever work you do, you tend to sit like that. And even though like you might be doing this, it's like I can see in front of you, like even though you might be on the computer like this, there's something else. The energy of that is from your lap, from your work. Maybe you're drawing, maybe you're doodling, maybe you're journaling, but it's expressing this energy, and it's creating a door. There's someone or something else on the other side of this door. If anything in this card, the artistry is standing out to you in the psychology card or dream psychology card. Card number 15 or coming into a 6. There's a shipwreck in there that's standing out to me. There's those elements are stepping through. Okay, sidebar thing, but as an example, there's a shipwreck in here. This driftwood lands on the beach. It sits there for days, weeks, months, years, timelines, whatever the case may be. But I'm seeing that would be created for the door, like building the door. And maybe like it was Ghost Tube said, move it. It's finding the driftwood as the example, that element, and moving it off the beach and like clearing this beach. Oh, I didn't mean to shuffle these. Oh, no. Oh, okay, let's see if I can find card 15 in a relatively. Dissolving. There's that dispersing, like the sweeping, any sort of harmful frequencies as well. Maybe, what are those things called? Well, again, we spoke about even like the impersonator hacker, and it's like trying to disperse and break it up. Authenticity reigns, but there's still an effort to kind of disperse this. But within the self, I want to stay here. If you're hearing this message, it's the ship was once a ship and it sailed maybe lifetimes ago, eons ago, or a shipwreck is found. Pieces of it come up. You clear the beach. Maybe you dry it out. Maybe you do driftwood art, something along that lines, and it helps dissolve and break up the and the breakdown of what has been. Okay, let's start here. The seeker sees a ship disintegrate, primal imperfection dissipate. Dissolving is the breakdown of what has been whole into the basics which supported its emergence into being. Always there is a return to primaries, freeing energy to go where it will. Nothing can hold to its essential integrity forever, and must revert to the fluidity of easy motion and undefined being. At this time and with this energy, we acknowledge losses from things dissolving into simpler elements of existence. Your task, should you choose to accept, is to let go, merge, flow, and release, so you may learn what it is to be simple, like a child. What else stood out to me specifically? Try not to pull out your hair in this process. If there's certain parts of you, does it cremation? That's where it was. The cremation, simplicity, transformation. On the funeral pyre, the corpse burns. Cremation acknowledges that essence is more than substance. Let go of any attitudes that rigidly bind you. And it's interesting how that has come through so clearly before this, of talking about these primal energies, earth, air, the doorways of dimension that are most likely, conceptually, if I may, consciously conceptualizing, they are made of that kind of material, right? In its simplest form, but they come together. And these elements, the trees, the wood, the active and the passivity energies, I don't want to say colliding point, whatever that point is where they meet, the nexus, maybe the nexus point.
True.
Maybe I should write that down. Nexus point, portals or something like that, because that's how it's feeling. But it's also within the hinge point of the body, bending at the waist or sitting with your back against a wall and your legs out in that right angle, and something is able to sweep out and the frequencies, and at the same time the secondary sweeping to dissolve and dissipate things that are maybe effectual, breaking, sifting through ideas, taking paper and ripping them up and saying no. I hope this is all making sense, but this is absolutely how I'm feeling through this, and I do hope that you can put it together so it does serve. There may be some sort of emotion with that while a physical, tangible representation, like ripping a paper or seeing somebody, getting somebody cremated, or an idea, like with the shipwreck with the driftwood, so once soaked and then it dries out and it can become wood that can be used to build something or put in a fire and made into its simplest form of ash. While that's one representation of a tangible sense of seeing this being released, and it's so helpful, right? It's this physical action, but then also inside with the active and passive, the internal, external, is how moving the emotions with that. Do you know what I'm saying? And allowing any rough seas to come in to a state of calm. Elixir of life is coming through to support. Stopping to smell the roses. Who's this other being over there? I keep seeing them. The art of seduction. This may be the other being.
Empty.
Is it? Why is it very specifically the door opens in versus out? And it's funny because I'm looking at my side door, but my screen door opens out, but my main door opens in. Something about roses is stepping forward a lot, or some form of flowers.
Don't.
I'm shaking hands. Now I'm shaking hands with this. It's like I'm happy to meet you. I'm happy the observer's coming through. The connection between this handshake. It's like opening the door. It's like, hi, nice to meet you. Come on in. Come on in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Through this dimensional doorway or this portal of sorts. Somebody also might be a photographer of portals, people, like you might be a portrait photographer, a natural photographer, maybe just like taking pictures, or seeing selfies but not being in the selfie image, but what you take pictures of, what you present is a reflection of the self, something along that lines as well. Sorry, the energy between the handshake, like happy to see you, or almost like honey, I'm home. Honey, I'm home. There's an energy, that's the third being. It was the original second being I saw on the other side, but it led me to seeing it's the space between the two, whether this is active and passive, whether this is masculine, feminine, or something internal and external. But there is, observing this is quite beautiful, like an accordion, being able to adjust, and sometimes having to squint to see, or like turning the radio down to see better. Does anyone else do that, or is it just me? And then lo and behold, we have here abracadabra. This is the whole feeling, and this coloring is the same coloring as this. Something overlaid with that. Last card. The journey. The deer might mean something to you. Please follow that if the deer symbology means something to you. There's so much resting red. It's like a resting root chakra, almost coming into a state of red, like maybe in your fundamentals, generating ability, generations, apply whatever you may into that space. But it's like the fire up there, I see you. And like even with the shipwreck, emotional turmoil, or it's been a journey. But you've come up on shore, and you just watch the ship fall apart, and but it got you home. It got you where you needed to be. So it almost doesn't matter that it's like this dilapidated thing. Is that even the right word? You know what I mean? Or have you ever been driving with your car and it's making a funny noise, and you're like, just get me home, just get me home, just get me home. And it gets you home. It gets you home. And then you're in a safe place to deal with it, to make the phone calls or whatever the case is. This is what this feels like, in a very weird way, but in a beautifully weird way, in this root space of generating and manifesting in some way, shape, or form. And the journey has been both observing, being on the ship, which is very earthly, and this very active energy of being on the ship, but also just being the person there, emotionally speaking, having to be passive. Like you can't do, you know what I mean? The ocean is where the river is, and the best one can do is navigate it. I hope this makes sense. This has been a wild ride, and I want to know that wherever this door is, it's like abracadabra. It's not done in some state of finality, but it's like abracadabra. That nexus point is the abracadabra. Oh, this feels good. Credit to your journey. Credit to your journey of where you've been and to where you're going. It's just like a spark of a new creation. Okay, I will see you again soon. We will flip it and we'll do it again. So much love. Bye. Got the deck. Tiny triumphs. Love it. Got the deck like a bird. Fly like an eagle.